Hi, I think we're live. It is Monday morning. Let's see. We are, I think, connected, but let's try it. It says successfully connected. We'll try that. I'm just going to work and hopefully bring this up a little closer. I have been asked to do a set of um, imaginative reindeer and a sleigh. Let's see if this is coming through. It doesn't quite look right. Let's see. Are we lit up? Chat disconnected. All right, we'll try. So I'm going to do some reindeer, but not pulling a typical sleigh. Hello, Cindy. Good morning. Oops, always do that. Let me get that right up where you can see. I got inspired looking up reindeer. I've been requested to do a little sculpture of reindeer pulling a sleigh, and I got inspired by real people from the north above the Arctic Circle who live with reindeer. And so I got all excited about looking at these different pictures, and I looked up reindeer, and let's see where I have some other pictures for you. Let's bring up this one. Uh, there's the big picture, if you can see that. And I made up this little document, and you can download it for free if you want to and see some of the links that I'm looking at to do a sculpture of reindeer pulling a sleigh. And it could be a real kind of a portrait of an indigenous uh, reindeer herder. I chose the Komi people because they live above Russia, or they're part of Russia, but they're almost outside of it. And reindeer are their way of life, and they dress so beautifully with this bright, they always wear these bright colors, and it's so just magical looking. So I got inspired, and I thought, okay, I'm still doing the turkey and I'll bring it back. But let's do a simple reindeer pulling a sleigh, and we'll go back and forth between that and the turkey. What I don't want to do is get boring with doing the detail work in front of you. I think I need to do that detail work not in front of you, and show you the progress as I go. So this is more exciting when I can give you, let me bring that up so you can see both me and the sculpture. Let's move that like that. It's a little more exciting when I think you can see something happen from almost nothing. And that may be inspiring for you more than just watching the uh, detailing of a piece, which can take a long time, as you can see from from watching me. But let's get that up where you can see everything. It is my goal to try to come up with better ideas for viewing, but at this point in time, I don't have the luxury of time to set up a new live streaming where we have what ideally we want is a second camera where you can see right down on what I'm doing. So I'm going to be looking at some reindeer. Let's get rid of that file. And I put it into Photoshop so I could turn it the other way and work on it right there. They're so pretty. These are called pearly caribou, and caribou and reindeer are the same animal. They're just variations, sort of like dogs are all the same species. Reindeer and caribou are all the same too. So we'll just quickly put together, ouch, my clay is hot, which is good. A nice just body and some legs, and then we'll build it up. So I'm just going to put the back on first, and we'll build it up. One of the interesting things I learned about reindeer is in the poem and in the Christmas stories with reindeer, they say up on the rooftop, click, 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 or clack, clack, clack. It turns out that reindeer have a very special adaptation, and their ankles make a clicking sound, not the sound of it contacting the ground, but the sound of their ankles. It's unlike any other species like deer. A lot of times if you see a reindeer sculpture, it's just a plain old deer that's been you know, fictionalized to say it's a reindeer. But reindeer are very, very specific. And I'm probably going to have to use some kind of armature embedded in this, but I'll get it started. And then on Wednesday, I'll show you what I've done. And get my clay hot here. Get that body width. See, I'm putting the body width together here. Put you close up, maybe not seeing me so much, just watch what I'm doing. I have two other legs here ready to go. So I'll put this central part. This won't be too detailed. It'll just be a fun reindeer pulling, two reindeer pulling a sleigh is my idea. And as I said before, you can look in the community tab and see. Push it up there like this. It looks very rough at this stage. They have an interesting, a very interesting anatomy. It's not like other deer. I mean, there are similarities, of course, but it's there's a, let me get that higher up, that hawk. There's a difference to them. And then if you look at the different kind of reindeer, you'll see a lot of differences. You'll see all kinds of colors, and you'll see some very interesting horns too with the reindeer. Unlike a lot of deer that you might be familiar with, they have a horn that grows coming straight out. So they lose their horns every year, just like other types of deer, but they have this horn that is coming straight out from one side. And that looks really nasty because you can imagine they're using it to fight. Let me see if you can see what hopefully you can hear me, Cindy. So I'll continue working on this, just smoothing it out, getting that top line. And I'll look at other views, of course, but I'll just do this view just to get this piece started, just to get it started. I don't have a head on there yet. Working with my hot clay. I have clay in a crock pot too, so I can really get started. But what a lot of people like to see, and I'm getting this as I do this job here, a lot of people like to see a new sculpture every time. And so I am getting the idea that you want to see me do something new and fast. That's always interesting. You can do fast if you're not tasked with doing detailed. So fast is okay as long as it's not terribly detailed. And you can see it come from something. Oops, let's get that. They have a like what they call dew claws too. So I'm going to have to hold this up with some kind of this other foot done here. I'm going to have to hold it up with some kind of a support, whether that's an armature or what. Right now, I'm just doing one leg. I just wanted to get the bulk put together. And Cindy, you can tell me too if you think it's more interesting if I'm doing fast, short duration sculptures rather than something long and drawn out. And maybe that gets a little boring for people. They want to see results quickly, something done from nothing. I think that probably is a more interesting way to go. I'd love to hear feedback on that because we can do all kinds of projects. So yes, we're only doing one leg right now. This is the unicorn version or unileg version. Get that on there. Oh, get that stretched out. You can kind of see where I'm heading. Get that hip bone in there. And then I'll pull out that head to be in the middle when I'm done. Just trying to check the, I'm not using any measurements. I'm just looking at the picture. And I'll look at other pictures this morning too. These legs are way too thick right now. I'm aware of that, but we're just going to get them on there and then push them out to the other side. So let's start to do that. Well, I'm using up my clay here, at least for now. Let's get this other clay back in the heat. That's the thing about the clay. It's a very hard clay. Put this back in. And that's what I want because okay, great, Cindy. Thank you. I want the hard clay because when it hardens, I'm gonna pull that a little bit and I'll put that other leg back on there. Going. When it hardens, it's very easy to detail it beautifully. So just pushing it in there, pushing it in. Bring this one up. It'll all get thinned out as soon as it hardens better. I can do that. And I might put a little armature in there too. So let's get that on, get that stabilized, I should say. We'll get that straight down. Let me lay it down for a minute because I need to just smooth it out and connect it better. Connect that. So it's a kind of a strange way to do it, but to start out with one leg and then kind of build up the body, but you're getting your idea put into place. And then you can pull those legs out so that it makes sense. I can have the one coming in like we're seeing in the picture. Look at that. Really, I know it looks funny right now. It looks really funny. But just think of the other sculptures that we start and how they look so ridiculous at first, and then they start to make sense. Let's see if you have any questions right now. I'm not using much clay. Cindy's asking me how much clay am I using. I have a little bag here, my heated clay. It's on my hot pad. I would say, look at, it's not much at all. So, and this might be something I may want to take apart and I can reuse this clay as I work. So if I don't want to make this and I want to try again, I can just redo it. Let's get that shoulder bone in there. So as you can see, it takes a little working, but this is the kind of exercise that gives you confidence that you can become a sculptor at all. Is when you're doing a lot of little quick, what I call sculpture sketches. I wouldn't even go so far as to call these maquettes. I would say they're more like a sketch. And just a real quick exercise to kind of give you a sense of an animal or a person. It could be a person, and to give you a sense of form and shape as it feels in your hands. And you start to learn how to feel confident working in clay. I think that's the biggest outcome is you're starting to build your confidence. I'm going on the other side because I just want to meld in. See, I have some places where it's not really pushed in yet. I'm going to push that in. Oops. Screen went off. And I'm just kind of building it out side to side. I'll just continue to do that until I have something here. I can flip that because I have it in Photoshop. I can flip it. It's hard to see, but the central, there's one there. One side or the other of the reindeer's, hi Mark, good morning. One side or the other grows this horn right out of the center of its body. It's really interesting. And I can imagine it's used for fighting. Let me get some warmer clay. The males, both male and female reindeer have horns, which I think that's interesting too. Other female species of deer don't have horns. Okay, now you can see how I'm starting to build out. It's going to take longer than this session, but and I'm not done with the turkey, just so everyone knows. I just wanted to have something a little more exciting to break up the monotony of me when I get into the detail work. I'm afraid that's boring to people, and I don't want to get boring. So I'll put this one here, and I'll bring this leg forward a little bit. Gotta get that. Make sure sometimes it doesn't look nice for a few minutes, but you've got to get, like I have on the other side, I've got to get those parts pushed in and connected so that the stability of the sculpture will really hold up. And you can take away and you can add to. And again, using modeling clay far exceeds anything else I know of to help you learn. I mean, water-based clay is great, but it does harden. And before you're ready to maybe say, okay, that's what I want. And so this is the way to go. This is also the way to go, in my opinion, for making professional sculptures that you're going to want to cast to make into another material, like, um, you know, bronze. I didn't have an armature at all. And when this hardens, it would almost hold up on its own, this clay, when it gets cool. But I could put an armature in there. I'm going to make the sleigh with 2 reindeer. And this is an actual authentic indigenous Komi person, reindeer herder. I learned so much looking up these people's lifestyle. It is so fascinating. And so they have domesticated the reindeer, and they move to their feeding places all through the year. And the reindeer are considered like a sacred animal. So this is a new twist on the Christmas version of reindeer. Most of the time, people are not people, but sculptures depict a deer, like a a white-tailed deer and then they put reins on it, and that's a reindeer. But the reindeer are really caribou, which shocked me. I thought that was really interesting. And they're just the same species, kind of like a dog with all its different looks. It's all the same species. Well, reindeer have the same situation. They've been domesticated in the far north, and I don't know if you can see so far, getting there. And I just happen to be using this picture, but in Wikipedia, and like I said, in the community tab, I have the link to download this from our website, and so you can get the links to the places I'm referencing. I'm going to get that hip bone in there. So you can see it's cool to have it just kind of come together now. And I'll make a second one, and then we'll make the sleigh. And maybe instead of, the traditional Santa, it would be nice to do this. Let's see if I can find it here. There you go. There's the um, reindeer herder. They wear beautiful outfits too, like really colorful colors. And it's kind of amazing uh, how they live. You think about the months and months of darkness, and so they're wearing these absolutely beautiful um, outfits with colors, and they're on these sleighs, and the reindeer know just what to do. They love them. The reindeer love these people. So we'll go back to this picture, but whoop, and I'll get the horns done. I might use armature in the horns. So yeah. Oh, and okay, there now about the red nose. How very interesting. That little mythology comes from the actual animal. And it turns out they have a reddish nose, and it looks more red from time to time. They have huge numbers of blood vessels in their nose. This is crazy, right? And what happens is it warms their bodies in this absolutely frigid region where they work. They have a special nose, and and it creates a pattern of warming that when they show it with infrared light, it shows how it warms the main parts where the heart is of their body. But the nose is an essential component of how the reindeer warm themselves, and it can appear red. So therein lies the mythology. I know. It's like, okay, what are we going to do now? A really dumb thing. Well, this looks stupid at this stage, but it won't in the end, as you can probably imagine. It's just um, one dimension as it stands right now. But we're getting the body anatomy in. Let me give it a little bit more of a I know. Oh, and that's what's fun about when you study your topic, your subject for sculpture, especially if you're doing wildlife. Oh my gosh. For example, I didn't know that reindeer and caribou were the same. I had no idea about that. Now that probably all y'all go, well, of course it is. Of course they are. I didn't know it. So, anyway, so there we have the beginnings of a reindeer, and we'll stop today and I'll carry it a little further. But every week I'll try to do something different, even if we don't finish, because I think it's a little more entertaining. Thank you so much, everybody, today, and I appreciate it as usual. And I'll see you on Wednesday morning. Bye.